Remember that amazing little cafe you discovered last summer? Or that perfect hiking spot you heard about? With the Overlook mobile app, you can create personalized lists of places you've been and want to go, and always see everything on a map. Share your favorite hidden gems with friends and family, or keep your secret spots private for you. The best part? No ads cluttering your lists, and no one selling your interests or travel data. Download the free app at overlookmaps.com and check out overlookmaps.com/Nashville to see some CityCast lists on a map and in your pocket. Overlookmaps.com. Collect and share the places that matter to you. Today on CityCast Nashville, it's National Dog Month, and we are celebrating with the Nashville Humane Association. I'm joined by their community engagement coordinator, Taylor Spreitler, to talk about how they partner with other shelters to keep dogs healthy and in homes. We also get into the many ways Nashvillians can show up and support our furry friends. It's Wednesday, August 27th. I'm your host, Marie Cecile Anderson, and this is what Nashville's talking about. Nashville Humane Association only accepts dogs and cats, right?
Yes.
What do you have against pigs and otters?
Personally, nothing. I didn't know that pigs and otters were also facing the same crisis that dogs and cats are. So
Baby otters, of course.
I didn't know there was a stray otter problem. I'm sure we would if we could house them, but the building just ain't built for that.
Right. So just dogs and cats. That's beautiful.
Just dogs and cats, yes.
It's National Dog Month. So with respect to the cats, why are dogs the best?
Oh, man, it's like Sophie's Choice. How do I choose? No, I mean, I am a dog and cat person. You know, I love both, but I do only have dogs. One of my dogs is not. I don't know if he's not the biggest fan of cats or he's absolutely terrified of cats. I really can't tell. But I mean, dogs are the best. Like they're so resilient and so loving. You know, I see dogs that have been through the unimaginable, and to see them, you know, be able to trust people again and kind of come out of their shell and like learn how to be a dog maybe for the first time or learn how to be a dog again after going through something horrible is just like, I mean, they're just chef's kiss. It doesn't get better than a dog.
Well, then, so as I was preparing for this interview, I learned that the Nashville Humane Association is one of the oldest service organizations in the city. And its roots go back to 1887 when the focus was on protecting children and draft horses. So how then did you go from kids and horses to dogs and cats?
I want to say that child labor laws probably helped with our switch. I don't know exactly what the turn was, but I mean, when we became incorporated in 1946, it was to help dogs and cats. And I mean, like next year is our 80th, which is crazy.
Oh,
yeah. So we're, I think, the second oldest nonprofit in Nashville, and it has been amazing. I also think it's cool to like look back and see that our history has always been about not only animals, but humans, which is something that we still really strive for. You know, we are always about like helping both ends of the leash with the cat carrier with like community programs and, you know, making sure that we can do anything in our power to provide resources to pets and the people who love them so much. And it's kind of cool that that's like for a very, very, very long time has been our mission.
I have deep ties to Nashville Humane Association because way back in the early 90s, for my parents' anniversary, my mom adopted a dog from y'all to give to my dad for their anniversary present, and we named her Anna V. And then just recently, the listeners know that I adopted sweet baby girl Lottie. So I was a foster fail, though. I was going to foster for a year. And then Miss Lottie just came into my life and I just had to adopt her because she was just so perfect. But I got to see a little peek behind the curtain when I was interacting with y'all just as a foster. Can you kind of give us a broader picture of the full operation?
We truly could not do what we do without volunteers and fosters. So first off, thank you for fostering. And also thank you for failing. I have a foster fail myself from NHA that I absolutely adore. And fun fact, I was actually the foster coordinator when I foster failed.
Oh.
What we do takes a village. And we have about 40 staff members we are all such a team and we all wear many different hats depending on what the day is. And then from 6:30 in the morning to 5 o'clock at night, you walk into our building and you see volunteers there. We have the most amazing volunteers. We have a group of like our cat socialization team. They are always there. You can always find volunteers doing dishes, doing laundry, which is like the gross, nasty stuff behind the scenes and the not so glamorous part, you know.
Well, so how many animals do you typically care for in a year?
So we take in over 3,000 animals a year. I mean, we pretty much do intakes every single day. And obviously that, you know, throughout the year, different seasons, like it's kitten season right now. So we have had a lot of kittens, and a lot of those kittens, they're too young to stay in shelters. So they go immediately to foster homes. We have fosters that go through neonate training to learn how to care for the tiny, tiny little babies, bottle feeding, cleaning up after them, all of that stuff.
Well, where are these sweet baby angels coming from? And how do you pick which ones you are able to take in? Because obviously you can't take them all.
I know. I really wish we could, but we work with about 70 different partner shelters. We work very closely with Metro Animal Care and Control, and we actually pull from them once a week. So a lot of our animals, we are what is called managed intake, right? So if you have a stray, if you find a stray, if you do anything like that goes to Metro Animal Care and Control. Our job is to kind of be here to take the pressure off of our shelter partners that are open intake. It really just depends on our census. You know, if there's a medical case, if we're able to take it in and find it a foster and have our vet team be able to perform surgeries and do all of that. The needs and everything is kind of ever changing. But yeah, we're very, very proud that we get to, you know, work with so many amazing partners and save as many animals as we can.
Like you said, you work closely with MAC or Metro Animal Care and Control. How do your roles differ and how do you support each other?
We are hand in hand in Davidson County. And the biggest way we're actually supporting each other and our community right now is we just launched a low-cost spay and neuter program with them. So we're partnering with them and we are able to provide low-cost spay and neuter resources to the community. So if anybody is looking for those resources, there are new appointments always popping up. So definitely go to NashvilleHumane.org and check those out because it is something that we worked really hard on. And we're very, very proud that we are able to offer that to the community.
But when you adopt, like my Miss Lottie, she was already taken care of.
When you adopt from us, they are spayed, neutered, microchipped, and up to date on all age-appropriate vaccines. And if they are on meds in shelter, we send you home with those. Like we just are we're trying to make it as easy for people to adopt as possible because that is our goal. Mm-hmm. And we basically just want to be able to set everybody up for success in the home. And that way you get to go home and enjoy the snuggles and, you know, having the new best friend and you don't have to worry about immediately making a vet appointment.
What resources do you wish you had but don't?
That is such a good question and changes on a daily basis. I think, you know, we are very lucky that we live in Nashville and we have a lot of people who really care and we have such an amazing community. I think resources that we are always striving is just more resources to be able to help keep pets in homes. Because the best shelter pet is the one that maybe doesn't end up in the shelter at all or gets to be adopted and just stay there.
There are so many renters in this city. How does that play into the ability to keep pets from ending up in shelters?
There are a lot of breed restrictions in Nashville. So any of your pitties, Rottweilers, anything that German Shepherds, like a lot of those can be a part of breed restrictions on a lease. Weight restrictions. I would love to kind of see that change and if there are resources available that we could kind of help people with that or change some of that language and break down as many barriers as possible. And it's, you know, I do see a lot of people kind of moving away from that, but it is, like I said, a huge barrier for people. I mean, also, like, let's be real, most of the time, like, a lot of these animals are mutts. They're perfect. They're super mutts. We don't DNA test. We try to make our best guess if we don't know where the animal came from. And most of the time we don't know their parents. Like I remember when I got a DNA test done for my dog, it was nothing like what the rescue I adopted him from told me. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. I don't care either way. But, you know, a lot of these it's just like, well, it looks like this. So that is. And, you know, a lot of the time that's just not the case.
Right.
And they're
Oh,
all perfect babies.
I know. I'm curious with Miss Lottie because I believe she's a border collie, but I wonder what else might be in her. Who knows? Maybe I'll do the DNA
I think
test.
Lottie's definitely a border collie.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not an expert. You are, but yep, I'm pretty sure she is full blown. Very smart. She's going to be hosting this podcast soon.
Yeah,
She's so smart. Nashville's working to become a no-kill city, and NHA already has a 98% save rate, but you don't use that label. Why is that, and what should people know about the realities behind that term?
Yeah, I mean, we are definitely very proud of our 98% save rate, and we are obviously very supportive of saving as many lives as possible. The term no kill can kind of take away from some of the complex situations that maybe other shelters have to deal with, like open intake shelters. We're more into transparency and responsible sheltering and making sure that we are meeting the needs and providing the best care for the animals in our care and also our community. So that is kind of why we don't use that term, but we are definitely supportive of, saving all of the lives in Nashville that we possibly can.
Are there some dogs and cats that just can't be saved?
I guess, yes. You have to think about what is the most humane thing for the animal and what is the safest thing for the community. So even though those decisions are never taken lightly, if euthanasia is the most humane thing for an animal who is absolutely suffering, or if there is a danger that it poses to the community, then those decisions have to be made.
Yeah.
But it always is very hard.
Oh, so hard. Now let's talk about adoption.
Boop, boop.
What does that process look like for a listener who's at home, who's just thinking, ooh, maybe I'll adopt a dog or cat this year?
So if you want to start by going to our website, nashvillehumane.org, we have every animal in our care is on our website, so you can see them and get a little more information about them. But my personal recommendation is just come on down, because sometimes you don't know. I truly think that sometimes they choose you. And you can come in, you can walk our adoption floor, see all of our adoptable animals that are obviously in the building and not in wonderful foster homes. And then you fill out an application. We set you up in a visitation with our amazing animal care team. If you have a personal pet and you want to meet with a dog that is 6 months or older, we actually can do a meet and greet with our team there to make sure that they are getting along and communicating properly. And then you go home same day.
I would sit in the lobby and wait for Miss Lottie with her vet visits and things and just watch people adopting. It was, what a fun job to be able to witness this.
I know. It's so amazing because some of these animals, like we've had them for a while. Some of them that are maybe like medical cases that have come in that have really just needed like months and months and months of care and surgeries and whatever. And then we get to see them and we get to like take that gotcha day photo. And it is just like, that is why we do what we do. I'm going to get emotional talking about it because it's just the best full circle moment. And then you're like, waving to them and it's like in the nicest way possible. Like, I hope I never see you again.
Right. I know. Oh, I cried when I took my picture. I was just so happy. Yeah. So joyful. Do you all still bring adoptable animals to festivals and events? Whitney got Wally at a Pride Festival event.
Yes, we do. That is actually my job. So I am, so being the community engagement coordinator, I handle all of our puppy parties and adoption events, and I absolutely love doing them. I love getting out into the community and brightening someone's day with a cute puppy or helping somebody find their best friend. So yeah, you can always find all of that information also on our website. I mean, we do so many things. We do backstage bark breaks. So we'll be backstage at like Pinnacle, Ascend. Yeah, we were backstage at like Billie Eilish with puppies because she's a huge animal lover. And we get to kind of like treat the crew who most of them are, have been away from their own personal animals for a very long time. So that's always, that brightens up their day. We have an adoption rig called Wagon Wheels. And it's basically like a food truck that we bring puppies on. And it has windows where you can actually see into it. It's air conditioned or it's heated. And it's amazing. I love to drive that thing around town with puppies on it. I feel like I'm like the Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile or something,
Do y'all ever go to senior centers also?
Like once a month we go. And we're always trying to look for new partners to do that as well. So it's always fun to bring the adult dogs by. Yeah, we love being out in the community and I don't know. I literally, like, my job is puppy parties. Like, you can't really ask for a better job than that.
That is a perfect job. Wow.
Yeah.
We are back with Taylor Spreitler, Community Engagement Coordinator at the Nashville Humane Association. Okay, Taylor, I know how this works, but for our listeners at home, how does someone become a foster?
I will say this beforehand, fosters truly save lives. I've said it before, we could not do this without fosters. More than half of the animals that we bring into our care go into foster homes for so many different reasons, right? And it can sometimes be like a weekend that they just need a temporary foster. It can sometimes be a couple months or anything in between for, if they need a break from the shelter, if we have an adult dog that's just been kind of hanging out and he's getting stressed and needs to just like chill in a home and take a good nap in a quiet room. So to become a foster, it's pretty easy. You can fill an application on our website. Depending on what you are fostering, what you're looking for, you might do an orientation, like if you are doing a neonate foster, and then we send out pleas once you sign up to be a foster. And if you're interested in somebody, you reach out to our amazing foster coordinators. We make sure it's a good fit. We do the same thing that we do for adoptions. If you have a dog, a personal pet, we can do a meet and greet to make sure that they get along. So that's an added stress off of you. We provide everything. So all of the supplies you need, the food, medications if they're on them. We have an amazing trainer, Kim Efford from Dogwise, who is pretty much on call if your dog is having any, a hard time adjusting or has any specific behavioral needs that you would know of before you took it into the home. And then we also have a 24-hour med line. So if there's any issues medically with your pup that you're noticing, if they're coughing, sneezing, or anything more severe. So it is you are fully supported, and really all you need to provide is the loving home.
When I went to go pick up Lottie for the first time, the wagon of things that were loaded up to bring home, toys, beds, her crate, y'all provided everything. It gave me the confidence that I could do this.
I feel like people, like if you're thinking about adopting, like it is a really good way to kind of dip your toes into it and see, and find like the best match. And also if you're looking for things that are even shorter than that, we do doggy dates and rover nights, which is kind of separate from our foster program. So you can sign up for that on our website and take a dog to get a pup cup and walk around Centennial, or take them home for a Netflix and chill night, and those are always amazing for us. We actually when people do that, they get report cards at the end of it that they fill out. And I will say, honestly, 9 times out of 10, it is A+ across the board, which is so, so helpful for us to be able to then tell an adopter, like, oh, they were great in the car. They were great, passing squirrels in the park, whatever it may be. Like, having that information that we don't necessarily get having them in the shelter is like a huge, huge part of being able to get them adopted.
Well, to switch gears a little bit, a lot of our local nonprofits are facing pretty significant cuts in federal funding right now. Is that impacting y'all at all? And if not, where is your funding coming from?
We are a completely gift-based nonprofit. So I will say the economy in general does affect donations for us. We rely on our community and those donations to really support our mission. And we are very lucky. I can't thank Nashville enough for the way that they support Nashville Humane.
Does the economy also affect how many animals you can take in?
Yes, that is a huge factor, kind of going back to barriers that I was talking about earlier. A lot of people cannot afford to keep their pets in their homes. And that is something that I just don't think should ever happen. And, that's why we are so passionate about being able to provide those resources. We have a food bank every week, every Wednesday from 12 to 2 at our shelter. You can show up and get supplemental food for your pets that you need for the week. It's so important because everybody falls on hard times, and we want to be a place of no judgment, no questions. We want to help you be able to take care of your baby and keep your pets in your home because they are our children.
Well, so if somebody's at home listening and they do want to donate, where can they do that?
Our website, NashvilleHumane.org. We have tons of ways that people can get involved. We have a wish list if you want to donate specific items to our animals. We are always in need of towels. We go through a lot of towels at Nashville Humane, dog treats, dog food, cat treats, cat food. We also have our license plate program, which is a one-time $35 donation, and you get a really, really cool Nashville Humane license plate that goes to supporting our shelter and our community programs.
And then you have to tell us about any upcoming events or puppy parties you have planned for the fall.
We have a lot. We have in September, we have our Cause for Paws event, which tickets actually just went on sale. So you can find all of that again on our website. Go sign up. It's so fun. It's at Belmead Country Club, and there's a fashion show. There's a puppy party. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then we have Dog Day happening in October, which is one of my personal favorite events that we do. We literally take over Centennial and it all goes to the dogs. So we have tons of vendors. We have costume contests. We have adoptable puppies there. So we are very excited about that. And then, we're always kind of popping up all over town. All of our events are usually posted on our Instagram at Nashville Humane or on our website under our events tab. So you can kind of see where we're popping up with adoptable puppies.
Well, as a former cat owner, my sweet baby Olive passed away last year, 16 years old. I will say,
oh my goodness,
having Miss Lottie now, for 16 years, I had an evil spirit amongst me. Miss Olive was an evil kitty who hated everybody, even me. And Lottie now, this positive energy in my home, has just brought so much light and joy to my life. And again, I cannot thank you enough for all the support from everybody. I mean, so many people at your organization helped this baby girl. She went through a lot. She had hip surgery. She was scared of humans.
Yeah.
She was just a totally different dog when I first got her than what she is now. And it's because of all the hard work and dedication you'll do and the love. So again, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your work.
Thank you. You are truly, Lottie is kind of the poster child for everything I've been talking about today, of how resilient they can be and how loving they are and how they just need that chance. So thank you for giving her that chance.
That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. And don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Nashville neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friends? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Toodles!